Welcome back to the Unrevealed Realities, where hidden lives quietly ripple through the world, and secret chapters reveal courage, kindness, and sacrifice that often goes unnoticed. Today, we follow a story tucked between narrow streets, where a small, worn shop holds more than leather, nails, and thread. It holds hope, resilience, and the quiet heartbeat of dreams waiting to walk again. It is 5:02 a.m. The city is just waking, soft rays of sunlight painting golden streaks across cracked walls and rusted gates. The alley is quiet, save for the distant rumble of a delivery truck and the faint bark of a street dog. Inside a shop smaller than a living room, an old man, stooped, wiry, with hands carved by decades of labor, stirs awake. His name is rarely mentioned aloud, and he shuns recognition, yet in the neighborhood, children and parents speak of him in hushed reverence as the man who fixes more than shoes. By 5:20 a.m., the first light catches the cobbler's workspace, a worn bench, scattered tools, leather scraps, and a single lamp flickering with stubborn life. He wipes the dust from his hands, checks his tiny toolbox, and begins the morning ritual. Each nail hammered, each stitch sewn, is executed with precision and care, despite the tremor of age. His shop smells of leather, polish, and oil, a quiet perfume of devotion. By 6 a.m., the first schoolchildren appear. Small feet, scuffed shoes, anxious glances. A boy of 10 holds a split sole in his hand, eyes wide with embarrassment. The cobbler greets him with a nod, gestures for him to sit, and begins the repair. He works swiftly yet gently, humming a tune his late wife once sang, each movement a testament to routine, care, and empathy. The children speak softly. "If he didn't fix my shoes, I couldn't go to school," whispers one. Another says, "He keeps our dreams alive." Their words carry the weight of gratitude, yet they are not necessary for him. The act itself, giving, repairing, restoring, is its own reward. By 7:15 a.m., the line has begun to grow. Boys and girls clutch broken shoes, small backpacks pressed against their chests. Mothers peek from nearby doors, watching silently. Each child has a story, a torn strap, a cracked heel, a sole coming undone at the worst possible moment. And each child knows, this old man will make them whole again, free of charge, so that education does not pause for want of leather or thread. At 8 a.m., the cobbler steps outside briefly to fetch water, the morning sun glinting off his tools. Neighbors wave, acknowledging his presence but never interrupting. Every repaired shoe is a bridge, one step closer to a classroom, a test, a dream, a future. His impact is subtle, yet monumental. Each stitch he sews carries potential, each nail hammered restores hope. By 9:30 a.m., a local teacher arrives, bringing shoes from children unable to visit themselves. She kneels beside him, watching the careful, patient work. "Your dedication changes lives," she says softly. He nods, focusing on the task, unbothered by praise. In his mind, the children's steps matter far more than recognition. By 10:45 a.m., small moments unfold like petals in a morning sun. A girl with mismatched shoes watches as the cobbler repairs a strap. He kneels, adjusts the leather, and tightens the laces. She smiles, relieved. Across the alley, a boy whose soles were worn to nothing grins as his shoes are made whole. In these moments, the alley transforms into a sanctuary, a sacred place of transformation and hope. By 12 p.m., word begins to spread. Children share the story quietly among friends. Parents talk in hushed tones at markets. Even the local shopkeeper mentions it casually, yet with awe. The old cobbler, he fixes shoes, but he also fixes dreams. And slowly, strangers start appearing, some curious, some drawn by necessity, all touched by the ripple of kindness he has sustained silently for decades. By 1:30 p.m., the shop hums with activity. Tools clink, leather bends, children shift in small chairs. He works tirelessly, uncomplaining, pausing only to wipe sweat from his brow. Outside, the city moves on, rickshaws hum, vendors call, children laugh, but inside, time bends around his hands. Each shoe repaired is a heartbeat, each child's relieved smile a testament to his devotion. By 3 p.m., a minor challenge arises. A batch of shoes requires soles thicker than what he has on hand. Undeterred, he improvises, cutting old leather, reinforcing edges, ensuring every child can walk safely to school tomorrow. The work is laborious, but the boy in the cracked shoes will not falter because he cares. By 4:15 p.m., interviews begin spontaneously. Children describe in soft, earnest voices what he means to them. He doesn't just fix shoes, one boy says, he makes sure we can keep going to school, even when everything else feels broken. Another adds, I didn't think anyone cared, but he does, he cares so much. Each voice carries the weight of gratitude, the power of small acts rippling into lifelong impact. Evening arrives. By 6 p.m., the line has dwindled. Shoes hang repaired, polished, ready for children to pick up. He sits back, hands aching, back stiff, yet his eyes reflect quiet satisfaction. The world outside the alley may not notice, may not praise, may not understand, but he has done what matters. He has repaired broken paths, broken dreams, one child at a time. By 7:30 p.m., he locks the shop for the night. Shadows lengthen across the alley, dust motes float in the remaining light. Tomorrow, children will return, some may have new brakes, others will come for the first time. But he will be there, tools ready, hands steady, heart unwavering. This is his calling, and he has done it for decades, without payment, without recognition, simply because someone must carry the burden of hope. And in that quiet, dimly lit shop, a lesson emerges louder than any words. One life's small acts of care can sustain countless dreams. One pair of hands, steady and devoted, can prevent children from faltering on the path of education. One man, unseen by most, becomes a guardian of futures through something as simple, as profound, as a repaired shoe. The following morning, it is 4:50 a.m. The city is still wrapped in darkness, the hum of early traffic barely stirring the streets. Inside the cobbler's small shop, the old man is already awake, sweeping dust from the floor, checking his worn tools, arranging leather scraps in neat piles. His routine is unbroken, a rhythm honed over decades. Each shoe, each stitch, each nail carries with it intention, purpose not for recognition, but for the lives that depend on him. By 5:30 a.m., the first child appears. It is Mira, a shy girl of 9, carrying sandals with cracked soles. She hesitates at the doorway, eyes wide with a mix of hope and embarrassment. The cobbler gestures kindly for her to sit, his hands moving instinctively, deftly, repairing the soles, reinforcing straps, polishing the surface. He hums softly, a tune his wife once loved, while Mira watches, her lips twitching in a hesitant smile. By 6:10 a.m., the line has grown. A boy stumbles in, shoes soaked from last night's rain. Another carries sneakers worn through at the heels. Outside, neighbors notice the crowd, yet no one interrupts. They know this space is sacred, a place where children's futures are nurtured quietly. Inside, the cobbler works tirelessly, his movements precise despite his age, each repaired shoe a lifeline. At 7 a.m., the first subtle signs of impact appear. A boy who received repaired shoes yesterday walks past the shop, skipping, shoes shining, smiling broadly. Another child lingers at the gate, watching, inspired. Quiet whispers spread through the neighborhood. He fixes shoes, but he also fixes hope. Parents nod silently, grateful beyond words. By 8:15 a.m., he faces his first challenge of the day, a batch of shoes from a family unable to visit yesterday. The shoes are in worse condition than usual, cracked soles, torn straps, faded leather. The cobbler does not hesitate. He kneels on the dusty floor, cutting, stitching, gluing, hammering. Sweat beads on his forehead, his hands ache, but each shoe is restored, ready for children who cannot afford to miss a single day of school. By 9:30 a.m., local teachers begin arriving. They bring shoes from students too shy or too poor to approach directly. The cobbler accepts them all, working without complaint, without expectation. He repairs sneakers, sandals, school shoes, everything with meticulous care. His heart is in every stitch, his devotion in every polish. Children's laughter and chatter echo outside, and he knows each pair of shoes will carry them toward learning, toward growth, toward opportunity. By 10:45 a.m., a small media presence begins to form quietly. A local journalist, alerted by neighbors, captures images of the old man kneeling on the floor, shoes in hand, tools scattered around, concentration etched into every movement. Yet the cobbler is unfazed, cameras are irrelevant. His focus is singular: ensure that no child is stopped from walking to school because of broken shoes. By 12 p.m., the first lunch break begins. The cobbler sits briefly, resting his back, then immediately begins a new batch of repairs. The alleyway outside is filled with children waiting, parents watching. One boy speaks softly to the camera, "Without him, I would have missed my exams last month. I thought my shoes were ruined, but he saved me. He didn't ask for anything. He just helped." His words hang in the air, heavy with gratitude. By 1:30 p.m., news spreads further. Local residents bring extra materials, leather, glue, nails, to help sustain his work. He accepts carefully, organizing the donations, ensuring they are used to repair the shoes of the neediest children first. The community begins to quietly rally around him, understanding that his mission is vital. By 2:45 p.m., a group of students arrives, carrying shoes from their classmates. Some are hesitant, others confident, but all are inspired by the old man's unwavering commitment. He kneels for hours, repairing every pair, speaking only in soft encouragement, "Careful walking today. School is waiting, dreams cannot wait." By 4 p.m., fatigue begins to show. His hands are calloused, fingers stiff, back aching. Yet he persists, driven by a principle that has guided him for decades. The children's futures are priceless, and a pair of repaired shoes is worth more than anything else he could ever earn. By 5:15 p.m., children begin to leave, their shoes restored, their steps lighter. A few linger, watching him work, learning silently. Some will one day take up his mantle, others will simply carry the memory of his kindness. In the alley, the impact is visible not only in repaired shoes but in the faces of the children who can now walk to school without fear, discomfort, or shame. By 6:30 p.m., the shop empties. The cobbler sits back, hands trembling slightly from exertion, but eyes bright with satisfaction. Outside, parents nod, whispering thanks. Children wave, some shyly, some enthusiastically. The alley, which only hours ago was quiet, is now filled with the echoes of hope, resilience, and gratitude. By 7 p.m., a sudden challenge arises. A child arrives late, shoes completely torn. The boy's eyes fill with fear and worry. The cobbler doesn't hesitate. He kneels, measures, cuts, sews, and within minutes, the child's shoes are functional again. The child beams, his fear replaced with relief, his trust in humanity restored. By 8:15 p.m., the cobbler closes his shop. Tools are cleaned, leather organized, floor swept. Outside, the alley is calm, the sounds of children and birds fading into evening stillness. Yet inside, the energy lingers, the satisfaction of a day's work completed, the quiet knowledge that dreams have been kept alive, if only for one more day. By 9 p.m., he rests, reflecting on the lives he touches. Each pair of shoes repaired represents more than leather, it represents attendance, learning, possibility, and dignity. He has given freely for decades, never seeking recognition, never asking for compensation. His reward is the steps of the children, the light in their eyes, and the knowledge that, in a small way, he is shaping a better future. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and still the routine continues. Challenges persist, materials run low, weather worsens, children arrive with more damaged shoes, but the cobbler never falters. Each stitch is an act of love, each repaired sole a bridge toward opportunity. Neighbors contribute quietly, inspired by his dedication. Children bring in friends, spreading the culture of gratitude, respect, and empathy. By the end of the year, the impact is undeniable. Children walk proudly to school in repaired shoes, no longer hindered by poverty or circumstance. Teachers speak of improved attendance, parents speak of renewed hope, and the community quietly acknowledges that one man's dedication has transformed an entire neighborhood. At night, in the quiet of his small shop, the cobbler listens to distant footsteps, laughter, and the patter of shoes on pavements. Each sound is affirmation, each sound is proof that his work matters. Tomorrow will bring more children, more challenges, more shoes in need of repair, but he will rise again, tools in hand, heart steady, mission unwavering. This has been the Unrevealed Realities, where hidden heroes quietly shape the world, unseen yet unforgettable. These are the secret chapters we promise to continue sharing. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and help bring more unseen stories to light.